What's up everyone, SKULM here, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the Necromancer in Season 5. Let's jump in. Before we go deep into the Necromancer, I quickly want to talk about the developers and how they answered my question in the developer livestream about the masterworking and tempering changes in the future. Let's have a look.
Actually, I think we have a question here on the lower third, which is
Skull MTV. Hey, great job. Thanks. Any plans to rework masterworking in brackets higher cost, but you can choose upgrades and tempering to make these systems have less RNG?
Nothing to announce at this time. We definitely have heard the feedback. We are starting with the first step of one of the things that we know feels really bad for players. Like I got how do I say? The more greater affixes you have on an item, the higher stress and investment you have to make it work the way that you want. So we are relaxing that, make it a little bit easier. Another thing that we're thinking about that's a little lighter is the tempering recipes, making them have 3 on average instead of 4 or more. Something that we're talking about moving towards, but nothing of overhauling the system and doing a major change at this time that we have to announce.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
So it seems like the developers are actually kind of in line with what we have been saying, and I'm really hoping to see that they actually bring some radical masterworking changes so that we can actually have an option to choose masterworking affix and some quality of life improvements for tempering as well. Anyway, let's have a look at the Necromancer. Now everyone knows the best Necromancer build in Season 5 is going to be the Bone Spirit Necromancer because it is really powerful. I have played it in the PTR and now it's buffed even further. So I quickly want to talk about the patch notes and how it affected the Necromancer in general and what you can expect playing the Necromancer at the end level gameplay in Season 5. So first of all, I will quickly talk about the leveling. I still think that you should level as a Minion Necromancer, especially a Golem focused Necromancer, because Bone Spirit really depends on the gear. I mean, Bone Spirit is so powerful, it has its own figurine or toy, or in the background, you can see it right here. My finger, check it out. Near the Lich King armor. Anyway, enough flexing. So Bone Spirit is really gear dependent. Yeah, it requires you to have really good gear for end game performance. It really starts performing, for example, when you actually get a decent Banished Lord Talisman amulet. Also, you need a really good chest item for the Macabre, plus Macabre skills. Stuff like this is really important. So for leveling and pushing levels, I honestly think, at least I'm gonna play a Minion Necromancer, a Golem Necromancer, because it is really powerful, especially in the early game when you don't have any gear. Your minions kind of do the work for you and you have your Golem. They're actually powerful this way. So my recommendation is to start as a Golem or Minion Necromancer in general and then start farming gear, get to the max level and so on. So this is the problem of Bone Spirit. It's gear dependent, but it is a really strong end game build, okay? So after you farm gear, after you have your Paragon points, after you can do Nightmare dungeons, then you can transition into the Bone Spirit Necromancer. And now we're going to talk about the end game performance of the Bone Spirit Necromancer and what you can expect from it. Now, first of all, developers have finally announced how they changed the broken items in the PTR. Crown of Lucion is obviously nerfed, so that item will no longer be our top choice as a Bone Spirit Necromancer. Good news is, Shaco has been massively buffed with the 50% cooldown reduction. It grants +4 to all skills, and now it also grants maximum essence. Max Essence, as you all know, is great for Bone Spirit because every point of Essence is 4x damage above a certain threshold. So, with Shaco we can also get a lot of damage reduction because Shaco grants us 20% damage reduction and we can put on aspect of Hardened Bones on our chest item. So we're gonna be having a lot of damage reduction, okay? So these are good news. So Crown of Lucion is nerfed, yes, whatever. It was kind of broken anyway, to be fair. But Shaco, the buffed Shaco, is actually really good. So we have a definite winner in this slot. Helm slot belongs to Shaco, okay? The Trang boots, I'm gonna call them Trang because in Diablo 2 you have Trang Ul set, Trang Ul set. Now they have these boots called Trag Ul. Like, is this the cousin of Trang Ul? I have no idea. Let me know down in the comments. It should be Trang Ul, not Tragul, okay? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, the boots are actually super powerful and they're even buffed. So these boots will definitely benefit Bone Spirit to an extreme level. These boots are the clear winners for Bone Spirit Necromancer. Blood Paragon buffs. So Blizzard wanted to buff the Blood Necromancer, okay? Blood Surge and Bloodlance, they wanted to buff these builds. What ended up happening is they buffed Bone Spirit even further because Bone Spirit uses the Banished Lord Talisman, which grants guaranteed overpowers. Like, you play with such a high max essence, when you cast a Bone Spirit, it's gonna cost more than 275 essence. So that's going to trigger the Banished Lord Talisman effect. So every time you're sending out those huge big nuke skulls, you're getting guaranteed overpowers. And guess what? The Blood Paragon buffs are insane. And they buff overpower damage. So Bone Spirit is buffed even further. Also, the leg item slot, the Blood Moon Breaches, have been massively buffed. The overpower buff is massive, but also you may look at it and say, well, the damage reduction from cursed enemies is gone, but it grants plus to curse skills. What does it do? It provides plus Decrepify, and Decrepify reduces the enemy's damage. Reducing the enemy's damage is more powerful than damage reduction because it flat out reduces the enemy's damage number, which is then reduced by your damage reduction. Okay? So it's actually way better. So it's gonna help us with more survivability this way. I hope this helps explain the situation. The only problem with the Bone Spirit Necromancer right now is the loss of essence per second. By the way, I have a notebook and I'm reading my notes, so I'm looking down from time to time. I just wanted to have like a brief, super precise video and talk about this in, a short window of opportunity. I don't want to bore everyone to death. I don't want long videos in this channel. So the problem is the loss of essence per second. Okay, so what the Bone Spirit Necromancer wanted to do was, hey, I have essence per second. With essence per second, I can spam Bone Spirit and I will gain essence back all the time. Okay, so this is kind of problematic right now because it's not as strong as Season 4. On our Helm slot, for example, we wanted EPS, Chest EPS, and Banished Lord had resource generation. Shaco had resource generation back in Season 4. So we're kind of losing some essence per second from the boots as well, because we're going to be using Trangul. So the loss of essence per second is kind of problematic because you do not have the opportunity to spam back-to-back Bone Spirits. On paper, it's a problem. There is a solution which I theory crafted, and I have also talked with some other great Necromancer players. They are also thinking in line with this problem, in line with this solution. So my idea was to benefit from the Trangul boots because it reduces the cooldown of Bone Prison dramatically. Also, Shaco's cooldown reduction is massive. So we have a huge cooldown reduction on Bone Prison. On our rings, let me show you quickly. On our rings, we are playing casting macabre skills restore primary resource temper effect. You want this on both of your rings, okay? Casting macabre skills restores primary resource. When you have this, and when you of course masterwork this, what is going to happen, of course, when you press your Bone Prison, it's a macabre skill. Blood Mist is a macabre skill as well. So when you press these abilities, you're automatically going to restore essence. And since we have Bone Prison cooldown reduction on boots, and we have Harlequin Crest, Shaco, we have a massive cooldown reduction on Bone Prison. You see where I'm going with this? So we are going to spam Bone Prison in order to spam Bone Spirit. Okay? So this is going to help us a lot, by the way. I have tested this on PTR. Some other content creators played other versions of Bone Spirit, but you know, I have tested my own version, and everyone is going to play the version that I played on PTR. Okay? Spam Bone Prison, spam Bone Spirit. That's how you do it, folks. That's how you roll. So, what we want is to be able to trigger the macabre, casting macabre restores essence from the rings. That's the way we're going to restore essence to a certain degree, so we can send back-to-back Bone Spirits all the time. Now, the build is going to be capable of definitely completing Pit 150. And also, there are some content creators who have kind of lied about the Pit. I mean, I'm not gonna say lied, but they have provided misleading information. These people, and these are some really famous and well-respected players, so I don't think they had bad intentions in doing this. I think they just didn't know. These people said, well, after Pit 100, there is no prestige, there is no achievement, there is nothing to gain, so you are not losing out on anything. This information is not true. So they don't know how to look at the achievement section of the screen, obviously. So what you want to do to actually identify is to go under exploration. Under the exploration tab, you're gonna go into the pit section and you're gonna be able to see the achievements, okay? So there is an achievement for 20, 40, pit 60, then pit 100, then pit 150, and then pit 200. So right now at pit 100 you get Echo Despoiler, at pit 150 you get the title Fell Maven, and then 200 you get Madcap Desecrator. So I am telling you, if you play Bone Spirit with a decent gear, not even perfect gear, with a decent gear in Season 5, you are going to complete Pit 150. This is guaranteed. I guarantee it. The boss HP has been nerfed. The bosses are not going to one-shot you. You deal insane amount of damage. You deal even more damage compared to Season 4 now. And it's just going to be easier for you. So hit 150, definitely possible. Hit 200, I don't think that's going to be completed by a Bone Spirit solo. Maybe in group play. There is a synergy going on between Bone Spirit Necromancers. Maybe in group play with a Barbarian or a Sork, we may actually see a Pit 200. I'm also gonna try this myself with a very competitive group to get Pit 200 this season. If not, we're gonna be getting it in the expansion. But right now, Pit 150 is definitely going to be possible with Bone Spirit Necromancer. And I think Bone Spirit as a solo push player, I think we're gonna see perhaps Pit 170 to 180. These are my guesses. I may be wrong. Maybe it's gonna get cut off at Pit 160. Pit 150, I guarantee it. Bone Spirit can easily clear Pit 150 this season. All right. So again, quick the recap. Bone Spirit is looking great. The Golem Necromancer is definitely has taken some hits. It's gonna be behind the Bone Spirit, but it's not dead by any means. The Golem Necromancer will still be able to perform. But compared to Bone Spirit, nothing comes close. There are some Dark Horse Necromancer builds that I am going to play around with. Especially there are some candidates which can compete against Bone Spirit, but I don't want to overhype anyone right now because I don't have complete data on these builds yet. I am going to test them out off stream, off recording, and if I find really good results with them, I will publish those videos as well. But for now, your best bet and your guaranteed performer is going to be Bone Spirit. I'm gonna cut this video short. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, more stuff coming soon. Take care, see you later.